Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which, as probably all of you know at this point, came out today. I wanted to make this video and kind of give my thoughts, share some feedback, I guess, on the game here on day one, now that we finally have the final product, or what is, the launch final product of Call of Duty in our hands now. Kind of talk about some of the things that I like, some of the things that I dislike about the game, and overall just kind of talk about the game in general, right? I didn't do any videos for the beta, which is actually kind of surprising because a lot of the time when I was doing Call of Duty content, I would do like a beta review video or whatever. I didn't do one this year. I did play the beta. I put like 20 hours into it, got to max level and everything, so I had a pretty good feel of the game going into Modern Warfare 2. I knew kind of what to expect. I knew what we were pretty much getting into with this entire game based on what we'd played through that. And so far, the game isn't, like, I would say completely overhauled, but they have made some changes, and I kind of just want to talk about everything that's going on with the game right now. So I played through the campaign for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 as well, so I'm not going to cover that in today's video. I may make a video in the future kind of talking about the campaign and everything, but for right now I really just want to focus on multiplayer because that's what I've been sinking pretty much all of my time into since the game has come out. I pulled an all-nighter to get this kind of content out for you guys today. Played a lot of the game last night, ranked up some of my guns, played the new maps, experienced it both solo and with friends. I played Ground War. I'm going to talk about that a little bit as well, and yeah, just kind of want to give you guys a general oversight of the game. So first I want to start with the things that I actually really like about this COD compared especially to recent Call of Duties. Number one is the gunplay. The gunplay in this game is butter smooth. I love the way gunfights feel in this game. The kills are extremely satisfying to get, which I feel like is a really underutilized, I guess, thing in Call of Duty. Like, if getting kills isn't fun, the game itself is not going to be fun. So getting kills in this game is fun, and basically, like, I've been in gunfights in every different way. Like I said, I played Ground War, so I've been in like those long range, long distance gunfights. I've been up close and personal, so overall I'm pretty pleased with the gunplay in this game. The last few Call of Duties have been okay in terms of gunplay, but I definitely think, at least since Modern Warfare 2019, this is the best gunplay we've gotten in COD. I also don't really mind the movement. A lot of people I know are complaining about it because you can't bunny hop anymore, and they fixed like some of the slide chowing and stuff like that, so it's a lot harder to pull certain moves off and everything. But personally, I like the movement in this game. I do think it runs a little slow though. That was one of the major complaints I had with the game in the beta too. I'm more of like a fast action, high act, I love Call of Duty where you run around, right? So if that makes any sense. I'm a big fan of Call of Duties where you have to run around. This one, not so much, because you do kind of have to play slower. You have to keep your gun up. You really get punished for sprinting in this game. But even then, it doesn't play bad. Like, as a game, it plays pretty well, in my opinion. I've had a pretty good amount of fun with it, to be honest. It doesn't necessarily feel like old school classic Call of Duty, but it feels pretty good nonetheless. You know what I mean? It's not bad, in my opinion. I know a lot of people probably don't like the game, but those were two of the things that I really liked so far about the game. I'm actually also pleasantly surprised with the maps. Most of the maps are at least playable in this game. In the last few CODs, I feel like they've really dropped the bag with the maps. Just completely abandoned good map making, and that was something that was apparently prioritized a little bit in this game. I think the maps are definitely a step up. They're a lot more playable than a lot of the recent Call of Duty maps have been, so that's a pretty big W in my opinion. The footsteps got adjusted pretty heavily from the beta, so you're not stomping around and you can hear your opponent across the map. That's not as bad anymore. I mean, you can still hear footsteps and whatnot, but they definitely fixed the footstep range pretty heavily, right? They definitely focused in on that. So the Camos system in this game, I think, is really good. It's a lot less tedious. You actually can just straight up, use all the guns and earn the camos pretty easily. I do like a good camo grind in Call of Duty, and I feel like this game has like the perfect balance between not being tedious and still having a lot of content that you can grind out. Some people are already getting gold for like a bunch of weapons. There's already people on the race to basically get the final camos, which I also thought were pretty decent in this game. They haven't really done too well with a lot of the final camos, in my opinion, over the last few years, but I think they're definitely a step up in this game. Now I kind of want to talk about some things that I did not like. One of those is how people play this game. Like I said, this is a much slower Call of Duty, and you get punished for sprinting a lot more, and there's, no dead silence, well, normal dead silence like everybody wants. There's not, really really that ability like there was in previous Call of Duties to like run and gun. I feel like you get punished for it a lot more in this COD. So people are basically just sitting headies, sitting in corners, like pre-aiming and pre-firing all the time. The game plays a little cringy sometimes because of that. Like you just look at some of these engagements you get into and you're like, dude, are you really seriously doing that? You know what I mean? Like it's almost embarrassing to run into these people who think that it's acceptable to play that way, but it definitely encourages camping. I think way too much. And if they made just a few minor like adjustments to the game, I feel like it would be a lot better long term for pretty much more play styles than just camping, which is definitely the preferred play style by the developers in this game. Another thing I wasn't a real big fan of / am not a real big fan of with this Call of Duty game is it crashes so goddamn much. Now, I don't know about you guys over on console or whatnot, but I've been playing on Steam on PC and it's literally crashing like after every match. I probably have crashed over a dozen times. It's pretty much unacceptable, dude. Like the rate in which this game is crashing, like you wouldn't believe this is a AAA title. It's actually kind of embarrassing for the developers because this was a major problem in the beta too. A lot of people complained about this in the beta and they did nothing to fix it. And it's a huge performance issue. Like it gets so bad and it's so tedious having to just get back on the game that there's been a few times where I've wanted to almost just get off the game for the night and just go to bed. It's pretty shitty because like I'm actually excited to play this COD and like the more I try to play it, the more I basically get punished. So that kind of sucks, but I mean, I'm still having fun with the game. The content's fun to grind, the weapons are nice, but man, that is really pissing me off. Like, they really got to do something about the crashing issue. The perk system, not a big fan of this perk system, you know, getting the 2 perks off the jump and then unlocking perks throughout the game, your ultimate perk or whatever. Nah, man, just give us the perk setup that we've always had in Call of Duty. I don't get this. I don't understand why they changed to something that nobody wanted changed. You know what I mean? Like, I've never heard anyone be like, man, you know, the perk system in Call of Duty, yeah, it's not cutting it for me anymore, man. They should make it even more tedious to get perks and basically devalue some of the most important perks in the game. Like, no one ever said that, and the developers just came up with the grand idea to make this change. Like, I don't get why. For some reason, they love doing this, but they don't fix the things that people complain about and like give feedback about. They ignore that, but then they make unnecessary changes to like fan favorite systems. Same thing with the prestiges. I don't like that in this game. They did that stupid seasonal prestige shit again, where every season of the game, they basically reset your prestige and you have to grind all the way back through, and it like unlocks new prestiges every season or whatever. Like, dude, just give us 15 prestiges to grind out and mastery to level 1000, dude. Like, it's really not any harder than that. Like I said, if it was just these minor changes like this that were adjusted, this would be such a really good Call of Duty game. And the truth is, they have a pretty good basis for it. I mean, even other modes like Ground War, I loved Ground War. I thought it was very fun. It played better than the most recent Battlefields. I think it's going to be a good competing mode throughout the year, something that I'm going to constantly sink time into just because I enjoy the mode. Then you got to think we also got Warzone 2 and DMZ and raids and everything else coming to the game later on down the road. So there's a lot there to enjoy, but there's also a lot there to like get not enjoy, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot there that kind of just fucking sucks, and you kind of just have to wade through it, man. Like, you just kind of have to wade through the bullshit and like hope to God that you get the good stuff, right? Like, I'm gonna give this COD so far a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. It's a pretty solid basis. Like, they've got the foundation of a good COD there. Like, they've actually stepped up in a lot of different areas so far, but if they just listen to the community feedback, this game would be fucking like really good, man. Infinity Ward, you gotta listen to these fans, dude. Just change the things that people want changed, and this could actually be like a really big COD, I feel like. Is this gonna be playable for 2 years? Really depends on how the developers keep it going. I mean, if the new content is constantly refreshing and fun, I think this is a COD that I'm going to be able to play on and off for 2 years. You know, of course, I'll get bored at periods of time and whatnot and stop playing, but at the same time, I feel like I could. And I really want to make content on this game this year, so I want to like have daily uploads and kind of make videos here on this channel too, and kind of just bring you guys some COD gameplay and content and whatnot. So hopefully this is a game that can be played for 2 years. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of get on here and talk about my initial thoughts on the game and whatnot. So thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe down below as well. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus Games talking about Call of Duty and signing out.